Today on Bridge City News, some excited families finally got to use the new Lethbridge YMCA as it opened its doors today. It was a good turnout for the Steps of Life walk today at Henderson Lake Park. And at least 15 deaths are blamed on Cyclone Fani in India, with that number expected to rise as it hits Bangladesh today.
Your nation, your province, your southern Alberta. From the heart of Lethbridge, it's Bridge City News with Paul Arthur.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. The Lethbridge Core Van Ray YMCA was a busy place today as the doors were open to allow the public to finally make use of the huge facility.
The soft opening was planned for today. It was a little bit fluid off the start because of construction and some minor delays. So we weren't really sure what the date was going to be, but it turned out today was the date that was picked. It's been fantastic. Doors opened at 8 this morning, so there's been a steady stream since that time. And it looks like it's going to be a great day.
We've been waiting for this day for 4 years. It's a really exciting day. We're having excellent community response. Lots of people coming in to use our fitness center, our aquatics facilities, our field house spaces, our indoor play center. As you can see behind me, lots of people getting their memberships today. And we have some brief tours that we can do for folks as well today. This is considered our soft opening. We haven't had the official grand opening with politicians yet. That day is still to be determined, as I understand, based on politician availability, but we'll be sure the community is aware once we know.
The YMCA features an aquatic center with 2 water slides, a lazy river, and a surf simulator, along with a climbing wall. The 11th annual Steps of Life walk took place today at Henderson Lake Park.
We hold an annual Steps for Life walk on the first Saturday in May every year to kick off NAOSH Week. And it's a walk that raises money for a national charity called Threads of Life. And the money that's raised at these Steps for Life walks is sent to Threads of Life, who holds family forums that help the families who have either suffered a fatality in their family or a serious injury in their family because of a workplace incident.
Almost 1,000 people participated in the walk, raising tens of thousands of dollars for the Threads of Life charity. A violent incident that occurred in Lethbridge last Wednesday at Switzer Automotive has raised concerns from the owner as well as neighboring business owners. Mark Switzer says 2 of his employees were badly beaten up while on the job after they asked a man who was looking around a parked vehicle to move along. Owners say vandalisms and break-ins have been on the increase in the area near Stafford Drive North between 5th Avenue and 1st Avenue. Statistics from Lethbridge Police appear to back that up, with the number of service calls in that area going up from 386 in February to 473 in March. Taber police were called out to a home in the 5000 block of 43rd Avenue yesterday afternoon after a complaint of a man making threats with a knife. Officers had their non-lethal sock round shotguns at the ready, but did not have to fire any rounds. The suspect, who is known to police, was taken into custody as authorities continue to investigate. The 8th annual Jane's Walk continued today, with 13 informative guided walks being offered around the city to help residents get to know one another and to appreciate some of our local community history.
Well, Jane's Walk is an annual festival that takes place here in Lethbridge and in cities across the world. It started in Lethbridge in the year 2012, and we were inspired by walks taking place starting in Toronto in 2007. They started the year after Jane Jacobs, who was an important person in bringing together community in New York and Toronto, getting people involved in her community. She passed away in 2006, and people thought, what a great way to honor her, to hold volunteer-led free community walks to get people involved and out exploring their neighborhoods in a new way.
The Jane's Walk is growing in popularity and in fact will host an additional 2 walks next weekend. You can find the details on their Facebook page. Well, one person's junk is another person's treasure. The Lethbridge Spring Reuse Rendezvous returned for a 2nd year today. You may have noticed used items placed in front of homes around the city for others to take for free. Hundreds of residents participated to free cycle unwanted items. A reminder, the city will not be picking up uncollected items and is asking residents to clear things from the front of homes by tomorrow. As the floodwaters continue to recede in New Brunswick, health and safety inspection teams assessed flood-damaged homes and businesses in the Fredericton, Majorville, and Grand Bay Westfield areas today. The teams are determining whether the buildings are safe enough for residents or owners to live and work in. The provincial government has launched a program to help individuals, small businesses, and municipalities cope with property damage. Meanwhile, more than 10,000 people are still unable to return home in Quebec, but officials say the flooding situation remains largely stable. The Nova Scotia government is telling the province's School Athletics Authority to reinstate high school rugby. The decision came late yesterday after the sport was abruptly cancelled across the province without warning over safety and liability concerns. Amid a backlash from players, politicians, and Rugby Canada, Education Minister Zach Churchill issued a statement that the Nova Scotia School Athletic Federation had contravened a governing agreement with the province. He says its decision came without appropriate consultation. Some President's Choice brand and PC Black Label brand sauces sold at Loblaws are being recalled because they may have glass fragments in them. They include President's Choice Creamy Horseradish in 250 milliliter bottles with best before dates up to September 9th, President's Choice Thai Red Curry Cooking Sauce in 400 milliliter bottles with best before dates up to December 15th, and BC Black Label Lemon Curd in 250 milliliter bottles with best before dates up to September 21st. No injuries have been reported. Ottawa is proposing that workers in federally regulated workplaces have access to free menstrual products. The government wants to put the products, like tampons, in the same group of supplies employers must provide free, such as toilet paper, soap, warm water, and a way to dry your hands. Just how the program will work has yet to be nailed down, but a 60-day consultation will be launched to look at what products are needed and how to take into account the cost the move might have on businesses. Ottawa is ready to use the favorable court decision on its carbon tax to step up pressure on political opponents. In a 3-2 split decision, the Saskatchewan Court of Appeal ruled that the tax imposed on provinces without a carbon price of their own is constitutional. Environment Minister Catherine McKenna says the court decision confirms that putting a price on pollution is an effective response to climate change. However, Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe says they will continue to fight against the carbon tax.
Over the past year, we have seen 3 provincial elections where the carbon tax has been the ballot question. In every case, the party supporting the Trudeau carbon tax has lost, and the party standing up for its citizens by opposing the Trudeau carbon tax has won. I expect it will be a ballot question in the upcoming federal election. So my message today is this. Our fight will continue on behalf of the vast majority of Saskatchewan people who oppose the ineffective, job-killing Trudeau carbon tax.
A team of 16 investigators from the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board hopes to figure out what caused a chartered plane flying from Cuba to North Florida to end up in the St. Johns River last night. None of the 143 people aboard the flight were seriously injured when the plane skidded off a runway at Naval Air Station Jacksonville. The plane is still stuck in shallow water with some of the passengers' pets still stranded on board. The U.S. government is opening 2 new facilities that could begin receiving new immigrants next Thursday. The facilities in El Paso, Texas, and the Rio Grande Valley will have bathrooms, recreation areas, and sleeping quarters.
It is a way for us to move the process a little bit quicker, to have that flow of people going through the process. You saw the intake facility where we have medical personnel. Everybody that's going in there will be getting processed. Part of the intake, which also includes another process, is where we monitor the movement of people within our custody. So we need to make sure where they're at and how they're moving. There's a shower facility in there. There's 36 shower stalls where aliens will be able to bathe. Again, the medical screening, if it requires more, we do have doctors on site, contracted in government, medical providers. There's 4 different pods in there, each one of them holding 125 people for a total of 500 people. There's a laundry facility in there. There's snacks. There's a recreational area on the outside. So it'll make this process flow a little bit smoother.
An unprecedented evacuation exercise that saw more than 1 million people move to higher ground appears to have spared India a devastating death toll from one of the biggest storms in decades. But at least 15 deaths are blamed on Cyclone Fani in India. It had sustained wind speeds of 250 kilometers per hour when it made landfall in the eastern Odisha state yesterday. The storm is now headed to Bangladesh. Recapping one of our top stories this hour, some excited families finally got to use the massive brand new Lethbridge YMCA as it opened its doors today. And a look at weekend weather. It looks like we are in for some rain tonight, changing to snow overnight as we dip down to a low of -2. The snow should end in the morning, then mainly cloudy and a high of 7 degrees. The opioid crisis continues in Lethbridge and across the province. There's a group in Lethbridge working hard to address the issue from a Christian perspective. Hal Roberts talks with Pastor Bill Zwartball from Love Lethbridge next. But first, here's a look at what's happening in and around your community.
Here's your Bridge City News Community Calendar. The annual Coulee Cleanup, organized by the Helen Schuler Nature Center, will continue until May 31st. This is a great opportunity for individuals, families, sports teams, and community groups to help protect our fragile environment. Register by calling 403-320-3064 or email hsnc@lethbridge.ca. If you love the game of golf, get involved and be a volunteer at the second annual Lethbridge Paradise Canyon Open, a Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada event, June 20th to the 23rd. Golfers from over 14 countries will be here in Lethbridge to compete. There are a number of positions that need to be filled, and you'll gain the experience of being a part of a professional golf tournament. To learn more about volunteering for this event, visit lethbridgepcopen.ca or call Michelle at 403-327-5724. And that's your Bridge City News Community Calendar.